Hi, welcome to Facebook Live at PlantPure. I'm Kim Campbell, and tonight we are going to make a super easy recipe. We actually have a couple of recipes, but the main focus tonight is soy yogurt. I started out a few years ago trying to make yogurt and had a lot of disasters, and I learned a lot of things along the way. But the nice part about this recipe is you only need 2 ingredients. You need really good soy milk, which we'll talk about, and you need some probiotics. So let's talk about the soy milk first. The brand that I like, and I think I've talked about this in other Facebook Lives, is West Soy. And I have the price on here because I bought it at Trader Joe's yesterday for $2.19. It was on sale. That's a really good deal for a quart of West Soy. You have to make sure it's unsweetened and make sure that there are no other ingredients other than soybeans and water. The other brand that I've had a lot of success with is Eden Soy, which is unsweetened. And again, it also has only soybeans and water. So when you're first starting out, I would definitely stick with these 2 milks because I've had the most success with them. They're shelf stable, so you can keep them in your pantry and keep them room temperature. I always start yogurt at room temperature. I don't put this in the refrigerator. And then the next thing you can do is just go to your health food store and grab a probiotic. These are the probiotics that I've used. This is the one I've used more often. You can get it online. I believe it's about, let me look at my notes here. I think I paid about $20 for 120 capsules. And then this one I paid a little bit less for. I believe that was about $15 for 100 capsules. So, you know, really what you're looking for is you're looking for the probiotic to contain one of the 3 strains, which would be Lactobacillus bulgaricus, Streptococcus thermophilus. I'm probably saying these wrong. I'm not a microbiologist. Bifidobacterium lactis or Lactobacillus acidophilus. So I wouldn't get too, worried about your probiotic as long as it's vegan and as long as it's live. The other option you can do if you don't want to use these probiotics is you can go get a plant-based yogurt that contains live culture. And I don't know, Laura, can you find on there where it says live culture? And you can add about 1/4 to 1/2 cup of a live yogurt. So if you make yogurt and you have success, save a little bit because you can use it in your next batch. So that's it. You just want a plant-based milk and you want a probiotic. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the blender. And the reason I put it in the blender is because I want the powder inside the probiotic pill to get evenly dispersed. I'm sure you could put it in a bowl and whisk it. Some people even say that they put the probiotic directly down in here and give it a shake. I haven't had great luck with that because you really want to get that probiotic blended into the milk really well. So I always put it in a blender. You can use any blender. And I do this before we go to bed at night because it takes about 10 hours in the Instant Pot. And it literally takes me 5 minutes to put this together. Toss that out. And I'm going to use, you can use between 3, probably, I'm going to use 4. You can use 3 or 4 probiotics. And then you want to turn this on first and get the milk kind of flowing around. And Laura, will you plug it in? Oh. I have my camera girl helping out with some of this stuff. My camera girl is my daughter Laura behind the camera. So just put it on low and then take your probiotic, open it up, and just sprinkle it in there. If for some reason you drop this in, the capsules will dissolve, so it's not a big deal. I've done it before. It. So then what I do is I put it in mason jars. You can put this milk directly into your Instant Pot. I've never done that, but I know it works because a lot of people have told me that that's what they do with their yogurt. But I like to put it in a mason jar, and I split these into 4, about a cup apiece, because we like to eat them right out of the jar for breakfast. So then I don't have to wash them. I don't have to wash the Instant Pot either. So split these up. And the nice thing about West Soy is it comes in a 2-quart package as well, so you can get really big ones, and I think they're a little bit cheaper when you buy them that way. Laura, do we have people on?
Yeah, you've got 20 people on.
So if you have questions about this, or you know how to do this a little differently, please share, because yogurt seems to be, everybody has their little techniques and strategies. This is mine. It's what always works in my kitchen, but I'm sure that there are others. So then you take your Instant Pot, and I need to have Laura follow me over here. By the way, when you use these jars, make sure that they're really clean. I put mine in the dishwasher because you don't want to introduce bacteria to the probiotic. The probiotic needs warmth to grow. And the Instant Pot keeps it at the perfect temperature, and I meant to look at that. I think it's somewhere between 105 and 110, somewhere in there. But I put it directly down in there, and then put your top on. This is really important. You want to seal it, even though, you want to seal your Instant Pot, even though it doesn't come to pressure. When you seal it, it keeps the temperature inside the Instant Pot at a constant. So, you know, if you leave it open, it's probably not the end of the world, but they say that it's really important to keep that closed. Then go down to the front of your Instant Pot. If you don't have a yogurt button on your Instant Pot, then you probably have an old model. But if you go to your yogurt button, which is right here, my default is 10 hours. It just goes to the last time, but yours might go to 8 because the Instant Pot keeps it at 8. You can culture yogurt anywhere between 8 and 12 hours. I like it at 10. The longer it stays in the Instant Pot and the longer it cultures, it's not necessarily going to get thicker, but it's going to get tangier. So 10 for me is my magic number, and it's going to count up. So you'll be able to look at this, and if it says 2 hours, then you know that it's been culturing for about 2 hours. And that's it. You're done with yogurt. So when you bring it out, I just pulled this out of the Instant Pot right before we started Facebook Live. And a lot of people say, oh, I don't like plant-based yogurt because it's really thin. And it is thinner, but it's going to get thicker when you refrigerate it. So I did this for a reason. This one I refrigerated for a few hours. This one just came out of the Instant Pot. So it's, you know, it's pretty thin. And the more you mix it up, the thinner it gets. And I've eaten it just like that. But if it sits in the refrigerator for a few hours, you can see how much thicker it is. It's not a lot thicker, but it's a little bit thicker.
There's a question. Is Kite Hill your preferred store-bought yogurt?
You know, I was at the store today and I couldn't find any that were really had clean ingredients and a live culture, and this is what I found. It's expensive. I think it was $4 or $5. There's also an almond milk one that has live culture, but I have to tell you, I've never used these as a way to culture the milk. I've only used my own. So if I was to put more milk in my blender, and I didn't want to use a probiotic capsule, I might just put about ½ a cup of this in there, and that would work. And I've done that a lot, and it works. So
sorry, there's another one.
It's okay.
Bridget Patterson said, I tried making yogurt just like your last demonstration, but it did not set up in my Instant Pot after 9 hours. Should I have gone longer?
Did you need, I don't put a top on my yogurt. I leave it open. Make sure that the pressure valve is closed. Sometimes the Instant Pot can get kind of hot on the bottom, so you can put it on you can put your mason jars on a rack that lifts it up a little bit. And if all else fails, then it may be your Instant Pot is not at the right temperature, and maybe you've got a bad Instant Pot or something. You could write the company, but if you use the brands that I mentioned in a probiotic, it should work. Give it another try, and follow the directions really specifically. So a lot of people, and you know what, I have to say, I had that same problem. I was trying different milks and trying different things in the Instant Pot. So don't give up, because once you find what works, it's really fun to be able to do this. So a lot of people don't like plant-based yogurts because they say they're way too thin. And I kind of feel that way a little bit, so I wanted to thicken it up. This is the same yogurt, only it's strained, so you can see how thick that is. That is thick like sour cream, and the more you strain it, it'll actually become thick, almost like cheese. So that's a really nice consistency.
Yeah, someone just said, does it work for cream cheese?
It does, it does. And then what I do is flavor it. You know, I use my ranch flavor seasoning, which is on the website, plantpurechef.com. But that's fun. You can make dressings with it. You can put it on top of bagels. So then what I do is, to get it to this point, I want to strain it. So there's two ways you can strain it. You can just get yourself a mesh colander, a small one. You can get a coffee filter, put it right on top of that, and put it over a bowl. And that's the way I started out doing it. And just put it in there. You're going to lose a lot of the yogurt. You're going to lose about half of it if you really want it thick. So a quart of milk will give you about 2 cups of thick Greek-style yogurt. And you can probably see it's already starting to separate. And it happens really quickly. Check it at an hour, check it at 2 hours, and you know, you'll find that consistency that you really like. And then I just cover mine with saran wrap and stick it in the refrigerator. I like it this way so much so that I went out and bought a yogurt strainer. I thought I was being really fancy, and I strained it, but what was happening is I was losing a lot of the milk solids, so I was wasting good stuff. So I still use this, but I put my coffee filter down in. Those coffee filters are great. You can also use cheesecloth if you don't want to use a coffee filter. Oops. And I can get quite a bit in here. And what's nice about this is it comes with a nice little top. And the coffee filters will peel off of your yogurt really easily. I'm going to go ahead and fill this up. This does not last long in my house because everyone loves plant-based yogurt. And then I just put the top on it, and I'll stick it in the refrigerator for a couple of hours. And it's that easy. That's it. So this week I made pumpkin apple butter. So I had the idea, because we're coming into Thanksgiving, why not make a parfait? So I got my parfait glasses out and my yogurt, and I wanted to make pumpkin pie apple parfaits. So I put a little bit of yogurt down in there. And then you can layer it with anything you want. I have some homemade granola. Put that in there. I got some of these Super Seed Ancient Grain blend at Trader Joe's. I love those. Those are really nice on oatmeal. So I'm going to put that in there. I have cacao nibs. Just, you know, do it up. And this doesn't have a lot of sugar in the recipe. It's makes 6 cups. It's a crock pot pumpkin apple butter. And Laura can attest to this. It was a wonderful recipe. It tastes like pumpkin pie. So
Yeah,
put a little more,
really good.
yeah, a little more yogurt in there. Do we have any questions?
Nope.
A little more granola. And then some super grains. I'm going to put a little more pumpkin butter in there. And you could put anything in here. You could put frozen berries. You could put fresh berries. Anything you want. Applesauce. And you have this really pretty parfait. And I promise you this tastes like pumpkin pie. I have to give it a try, Laura. You know why it's really good? It's got the right amount of sweetness to it, because the yogurt's a little bit tart with the pumpkin butter, and you don't have the pie crust that you have to worry about with all the flour and the fat. So this is just really, really delicious. And it's healthy. You can have it for breakfast. You can put it in mason jars, put a top on it, and send the kids off to school with it. It's great for lunch boxes. You can't go wrong. So if you have any questions, I'll be answering them when we come back. I wanted tonight to be really short to show you how easy the recipe is. If you have ideas about more Facebook Live recipes you'd like us to share, let us know. But thank you for joining us, and we'll see you back here next week. Good night.